Then we have seen cryptocurrency craze lately. We have talked about Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin is very big in the States. Do you think this is the way moving forward? Do you think people will actually use Bitcoin to buy stuff, to transfer money to each other?
I think it's still really early days for cryptocurrency in general, even for Bitcoin, despite the scale that it's gone to, you know. And I think one of the things you got to think about is what do people use Bitcoin for? And I think today, for the bulk of it, its main value is as a medium to transfer money. People are not really using it for retail transactions and such because the price is too volatile. It's difficult to transact if the price changes like 10% in one day, you know. So people are looking at it as a technology, you know, at the underlying technology of a distributed ledger and blockchain. And they're thinking like, what's the potential of this technology? You know, if Bitcoin is just the first step, you know, well, what could come later? What kind of other solutions can we build on this? And I think that's what's interesting, the potential of the technology, not necessarily what we have today, but what we can build tomorrow.
But even though a lot of people are against Bitcoin, we have seen the trading in Bitcoin in the States has gone up so much this year.
Yeah.
And JP Morgan CEO say that it's actually not a good way to trade. Basically, he just said
it a fraud.
Yeah, he just said it's illegal. So, do you think it's a good comment? Do you think it's a fair comment?
I think it depends on what you're using Bitcoin for. I've spoken to slightly more sober people who are, proponents of cryptocurrency, and they'll tell you that it's not something you invest in, right? It has its users, you know, but you shouldn't be, don't sell your house and buy Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
If you want to speculate, use it as a speculation, sure, but it's not something you can invest in and hope to retain. It may not retain its value.
There is also people talking about Issuecoin offering ICOs. How big are the deals, ICOs?
I think ICOs, there are huge volume of ICOs that came out of China this year, and that's why the Chinese government clamped down on it.
Yeah.
And a substantial amount of those turned out to be scams. You know, they didn't even have a underlying crypto program, you know, to run the coin. They just collected money and disappeared. You know, because people were so they were too busy trying to chase these returns that they saw in Bitcoin, and they hope to get in early on a new coin. And yeah.
But talking about China's clamping down cryptocurrencies, why are the governments so scared about these digital currencies? Shouldn't they, play along with this game and, provide more means for people to use money?
So, in China's case anyway,
Yeah.
It was part of a broader crackdown on capital flight, right? So they were worried that people were using Bitcoin as a means to take money out of the country. And that's a genuine concern for central banks. If you're asking me why countries in general are kind of wait and see, they're a bit hesitant to just embrace cryptocurrency. One is because the existing ones fall outside their jurisdiction; they have no control over it, right? In the current the fiat currency that we use, the central banks are able to control the money supply. They can manage the interest rates, right? And they have a lot of control about how the money behaves within their borders. Why would you give up this control? So now this is sort of a question that regulators, for now the answer seems to be no, we don't want to give up our control.
But we still see a lot of governments like Bank Negara Malaysia, they are studying it. They are not saying that, no, we are not using this.
Yeah.
About 10% of Bitcoin trading is actually in yen in Japan. So what are the challenges if they want to implement this framework, this cryptocurrency framework? What are the challenges that we are going to face?
I think what we've seen with the early adopters is they've just gone and regulate a very specific area, which is the gate, if you want to think about it, where people convert fiat currency to cryptocurrency. That's the furthest they can extend their arm right now. Because once their cash gets converted for cryptocurrency, it's beyond the reach of central banks and regulators. At the most they can act against individuals, but then again it's very difficult because you don't know who he transacted with. There's too much anonymity within the cryptocurrency sphere, at least today. Yeah.
But Ben, you have spoken to so many. Some are pro cryptocurrency, some are against cryptocurrency. How do you feel about what do they say about having this framework? Are they happy about it? Are they against it?
I think
what was the feel? in the
I think
market?
the question to look at is this. If we believe that this blockchain technology and distributed ledger has big potential, right? We may not have figured out how to deliver it yet in a way that both meets what regulators want and what the market wants to do with it. But if we believe that there's a potential there, then we need to start thinking about ways to build frameworks, at least a starting point for people to kind of like develop potential cryptocurrencies. Maybe we won't figure out today or tomorrow, but someone's going to figure out a way to use it, right? Or they figure out how to overcome some of the shortcomings and eventually build something that maybe even the central banks want to get in on. But if the central banks don't start having this conversation, then it's a problem, right? We've seen how Malaysia became one of the hub for Islamic finance, although we are quite small, because we were the first to develop it. Yeah. So maybe we could do something like that with cryptocurrency.
For more on the stories, pick up a copy of The Edge Weekly at all good newsstands.